Hello, good evening, and welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation, guys. We are back this evening for your fans forum for your reaction to Dundee 3, Rangers 4. Look, before we get to your thoughts, your comments tonight, I've got to say, realistically, what have we got to say? Look, Barry Ferguson, I think, put it best post game. He said that basically it was a good 3 points, but a bad performance, or not a good enough performance, I think was his exact words. That's what he said. That's what his comments were tonight. He said a lot of what he saw tonight, this afternoon, this evening, whenever, slipped below the expected standards for this club. He said there was a lot to work on post game, which I think is very much right. There is a lot to work on post match. There is an awful lot. To look at, isn't there? In terms of defensive howlers, defending from corners, goalkeeping mistakes, chances missed. There's a lot to work on against, we've obviously got a week now. There's no midweek game this week. Ahead of the game against Hibs next weekend at Ibrox. That'll be a tough game, by the way, against Hibs at Ibrox. Hibs banging form. They played really well today. They got a good victory today. They played very well indeed. They did a very good job today. So look, overall, you've got to say it's going to be a tough game. And look, at Ibrox, we haven't won our last 4 games. I think it is at Ibrox now. We've lost our last 4 at Ibrox. Today it was just, look, whatever you say, schoolboy defending, shocking goalkeeping. I've got to say as well, Cyril Dessers, I don't know what to say about the man. I genuinely do not know what to say about the man. On a positive, he works bloody hard. I think he does work very hard. He doesn't hide. But the amount of chances that man misses is criminal. The guy had 12 chances in total in that game and scored 1 goal. Now, realistically, if you're going to win the league, if you're going to go on to be successful long term, 1 goal from 12 chances is not good enough. Even if one of the average strikers down south had 12 chances, 12 clear-cut chances in a game like Dessers did, I'm talking average strikers. I'm talking about the likes, obviously, of Darwin Núñez. I'm talking like the likes of Gabriel Jesus. I'm talking about the likes of Ollie Watkins. I'm talking about the likes of Antoine Semenyo. I'm talking about the likes of Evan Nielsen. I'm talking about the likes of Evan Ferguson. They're going to score 4 or 5 from those 12 chances. Dessers scored 1. Look, you're not going to change my opinion on him. If he's our striker next year, if he's our lead striker next year, our number 1 striker next year, we do not win the league. Simple as. Because he will miss too many chances that will cost us in the long run. On the positives for the players, I thought that the players who came on made a big difference, as did Barry. I thought Bailey Rice did very well in the second half when he came on. I thought he looked very natural, very easy in that position. I think he looked better as a 6 than Raskin. Freed Raskin to be more of an 8. I thought Raskin did better as an 8 in the second half than he did as a 6 in the first half. I thought Tom Lawrence did well when he came on. I thought James Tavernier did very well going forward. Great goal by James Tavernier and a brilliant ball into the box for the own goal by Shaughnessy. I thought Dujon Sterling was brilliant at the back. Other than that, I thought the players were very poor. I thought Ridvan was awful today. I thought Hiefte was even worse. I thought that they're like the Laurel and Hardy of defending. For me, just not good enough. Just not good enough. I got some comments here. Graham Roberts says, come on the Jers. I'm going for a 2-1-2. That must be from earlier. I agree, more foreign than British. Or you on the Jers. Schoolboy defending, but 3 points and up the road. A good bit of fight in the team now that wasn't there in the PC, says Grant Willis. Grant, I've got to say, I wholeheartedly agree with you on that point. I very much feel that under Philippe Clement, there is literally no way we win that game. Literally no way we win that game. I don't believe we have the fight to come back. I don't believe we have the ability to come back. At the end of the day, I genuinely believe if that was a Philippe Clement team, if we were playing against Clement, then realistically we do not get anything from that game to this evening. We go on to lose that 3-4-1 easily. So yeah, the fight was good. I mean, that was one positive, that there was a big load of character there. There was a good load of fight there. Like I said, the interesting thing is that Barry has said that, you know, that is not acceptable. The standards were not met tonight, and that performance was not good enough. And you can kind of contrast, Grant, can't you? The honesty of Barry Ferguson post-game to the rubbish that Clement would have come out with. I mean, could you imagine Clement's post-match, what that would have been like? One of our best performances of the season. Terrific performance. It was brilliant. It was fantastic. Blah, blah, blah. Whereas Barry Ferguson it was a good 3 points, but a bad performance. Standards weren't met. Lots of things that weren't acceptable. Lots of things we need to work on. Very clear, very honest. Very good. Better now, but blood pressure through the roof watching that game, says Janet. Evening, Grant. Hell of a lot to work in, Owen, and that was abysmal the day, even though we won. I think you're right, Janet. It was abysmal. The performance was not good enough, and it was not acceptable. You know, that is not... We should not be going to Dundee and look, I'm going to say one thing straight up. Dundee, well done. You played well today. You came out, you had a go at Rangers, you tried, you worked very hard, you were unlucky not to get... I think they were very unlucky not to get something. Don't get me wrong. They worked very hard. They played very well. They were unlucky. They were damned unlucky. But what I am going to say is that, you know, that performance today, like you said, was not acceptable. And it's nice that Barry Ferguson's recognised that. It's nice that Barry Ferguson has come out and said that. And he's been, you know, quite clear in what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. And yeah, you're right. You know, it was not a good watch. It was not a good performance, but we got the 3 points. And like I said, I don't think that happens ever under Philippe Clement, because quite frankly, the team would have surrendered, would have given up, would have just slipped to a defeat against Clement. And yeah, I agree. It was a very hard watch. It was a very, very hard watch. So look, it's 3 points. It's up the road. It's 3 points, like I said, that we wouldn't have got. It's 3 points that we need to build on now. We need to take forward when we go next week against Hibernian. For me, I mean, that's my reflection on it. I really do think that we do need to do something a bit better than that next week. Missed chances today did Dessers, but defence cost us that game. They were woeful. The defence were poor. They were very poor today. I mean, I've got to say, I don't include Dujon in those remarks. I actually thought Dujon wasn't too bad today. I thought he was probably the best of the defenders today. I thought John Suter had a very, very poor game today. I really did think that John Suter had a poor game today, which is unlike John. It really is unlike John to have such a poor game. But look, I think he had a poor game today. I don't know what my computer's doing at the moment, guys. My computer has been an absolute arsehole at the moment. So there we go. But I think, I think overall he did very well. He did well today, Dujon Sterling. I thought John Suter at times today was a bit rabbit in the headlights. He at times played very poorly. He was caught out. I know there was one time in the second half when they had a chance. I think he dove in for a header. Very much unlike Big John. Very much unlike Big John. Maybe he suffered from the international break. Maybe he hasn't done as well because of the international break. I don't know. But for me, he wasn't great today, and defence was poor. Grant Willis says Darwin Nunez 80-odd million. He was 80-odd million, mate. He was 82 million, but I'll tell you something, he ain't fucking worth 82 million. And have you ever seen him play? He is fucking shocking. Fucking shocking. Grant Willis says I wouldn't give anyone pass marks. Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Rangers played like Rangers. The last 10 minutes, the other 80 was shocking. Yeah, I think, once we got that second goal from Tav, there was a little bit more fight there. There was a little bit more belief in the team that we could go on and get something. So, yeah, I think overall, the last 10 minutes were okay. The rest of the game was poor. I think you're right, Janet. Barry Ferguson, welcome, Gaffer, says it's been like this the whole season. Lack of consistency. You're right, mate. Absolutely lack of consistency. And I think, that's one of the things that I've banged on about this all season. One of the things that really has hurt us massively is not our ability to play big teams, not our ability to beat big teams, not our ability to even keep competition with Celtic. Our problem comes from the fact that we can't put away the shit teams. We can't put away the likes of St Mirren, Motherwell, Dundee today. We can't win these easier games. That's what's kind of hurt us to a more extent this season. And as I said earlier, we could actually come out of this season winning 3 out of the 4 Old Firm games, but actually losing the league by more than double-digit points, which is just absolutely ridiculous. It really, really, really is. So I've got to say the performance today was just not acceptable, as Barry himself said. It was a case that, we could have done a lot better today. I agree with you on that one. Under Clermont, away when we go to Dundee 2 up. 66 goals, 31 conceded. We don't score enough and we concede far too often. A 2-to-1 ratio for our club is not good enough. We get cut open far too easily and far too often, says Bluebells. You are right. This is not, if you look at title winning teams do not concede that many goals. Title winning teams are much more solid at the back. We are way too easy to play through. We can't defend set pieces. Our defending from set pieces is a joke. It is an absolute joke. You are right, Bluebells. It is not good enough. And we scored 4 today, but overall this season we have been nowhere near clinical enough in front of goal. You look at Rangers this season, and the amount of chances that we miss, the amount of chances we don't put in the back of the net, it's just not acceptable. We do need to be better at that. We do need to get better at taking our chances. Part of the problem is we don't have a proper striker. We don't have a striker who will guarantee you 30, 35 goals a season, which is what they've got, and they've had for a number of years now. We do need to address that over the summer. And you're right, we need to be more clinical in front of goal and we need to concede less. Now, a big part of that, Bluebells, and I don't know if you agree with me on this one, is the goalkeeper. Now, I've defended Jack Butland all season. I've defended Jack Butland loads. Go back and watch the videos. Go back and check out the content on the channel. Obviously, your Free Rangers news channel. But I'll tell you this for free. He was poor today. He was to blame for at least 2 of those goals. I think there's 2 of the goals he could have easily got back. The first one, I don't think he gets to, the Murray chance. The second one, obviously, the Shaughnessy one, is all on him. It's all on him. Absolutely all on him. He should be saving that. That ball should be grasped. He should drop to his knees. He should hold on to it, and there should never be a chance for him to actually let that goal in. Not a chance in hell should that be in the back of the net, and that is all on him. The third goal, I think he could have done a little bit better with as well. For me, part of why the defence hasn't been so good this season has been Jack Butland. He's been very, very poor this season for me. Hello, Matt. How you doing, buddy? Matt Gunner. Juicy Bear Gaming says Lawrence did well on the bench. Yes, he did do well for the bench. I think, to be honest with you, Juicy Bear, I think all the people who came on, I think everyone who came on, bar Yefte, actually played quite well. I thought all the players that came on made a difference. I thought Hadji worked well down the right-hand side. I thought that Lawrence did well. I thought that Danilo did pretty well at the end of the game as well. I thought that Tom Lawrence did well. I thought that most of the subs did a very good job. Apart from Yefte, I thought Yefte was awful. Again, defensively. He was okay going forward, but defensively he was poor. Ridvan was just poor on both accounts today. So, overall, yeah, I agree with you on that one. What else have we got here? Janice says, we missed Cheney badly today. If we don't get him, find it hard to get someone like him. The fans love him. You've got a great point. Singing the Blues kind of builds on that point. Says no Cheney means no performance. It was shocking to watch. Yeah, it was. Absolutely. 100% shocking. Cheney is a massive miss. I know. Cheney's our difference maker, isn't he? Every team has a player that is your difference maker. Your jack in the box, your wild card, your ace in the hole. The one who you give him the ball, he'll do something magic with it. He'll score you a goal or create you a chance. Cheney wasn't playing today, and God did we miss Cheney today. And you're right. What's really worrying, Janet, and Singing the Blues, is going forward, if we don't hang on to Cheney, where the hell are we? What do we do? Because we've got to go and try and get someone similar than to him. Well, getting someone as similar and as fantastic as Cheney is going to cost a lot of money. Money we probably don't have, even with the 49ers investment. So, at the end of the day, Cheney was a massive miss today. And I think Cheney plays. That's a different game today. We're better going forward with Cheney. He's quick. He's direct. He's just all round better. Janice says Cheney is the engine in the team just now. He is, absolutely. He's the difference maker. And you lose a difference maker like him, your team suffers. It will suffer. You take, for example, Mo Salah out of the Liverpool team. You take Bukayo Saka out of the Arsenal team. You take Cole Palmer out of the Chelsea team. You take Vinny Jr. out of the Real Madrid team. Okay, that's a bad example because they've still got Mbappe and Rodrigo and all those. But, You take Lamine Yamal out of Barcelona, they suffer because they're difference makers. You take your difference maker out, it makes a big, big difference. Correct. Grant Willis, not once did any of our wing backs hit the byline and cross the ball. Yeah, correct. I think Tav was probably the best at delivering the ball into the box. I mean, that ball obviously that went in that Shaughnessy scores the own goal from was absolutely superb. It was right on the money. But yeah, I don't think he got to the line enough. I don't think he got at them enough. I agree with you on that one. I think he was poor. I think he was very, very poor. Look. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think we did need to get to the byline. We did need that. I think once we changed shape, I would have liked to have seen Cortez come on, give him some minutes, and a real out-and-out winger, which is what Cortez is. We didn't have any out-and-out wingers. Hadji's not a winger. Danilo went to the left. He's not a winger. Igman went out there. He's not a winger. So, that's something we really did suffer from once we went to the four at the back. So, yeah, I agree. I agree on that one. Where are we up to? Comments. Hadji improved the team when he came on. I think he did. He offered for the ball. He was creative. He was direct. He gave them something to think about. He went at them. He took his man on. He was good on both feet. Yeah, he did cause a bit of unrest in the Dundee defence. Guys, this is your fan forum tonight. So the way we're going to go about this tonight is I'm going to bring... This is something I've seen on another couple of channels, a couple of English Premier League channels that I've been watching. They do it. They read your comments out and they discuss your comments, and that's what we do. The fans forum. That's why it's called it fans forum, because it's talking about what you thought of the game today. You know what I thought of the game. I gave you a little summary at the start. Did the live stream, so you saw my reactions throughout. So it's not for me, it's for you. This one. Martin says I was raging when Tom Lawrence came on. Didn't last long though, mate. I think we all were. I think there's a natural kind of anti-Tom Lawrence feeling within the fan base, isn't there? There's a little bit of a, Tom Lawrence is shit. He shouldn't be at the team anymore. He's getting on and all this. But I'll tell you something. I think he's not a bad impact player. I mean, I referenced something David Edgar said at the start of the season. I love David Edgar to bits. David Edgar said at the start of the season, you don't want to be starting Tom Lawrence. You want to be seeing Tom Lawrence coming on with 15 or 20 minutes to go as an impact player. And I think he's right. Today he did a good job as an impact player. He came on, he got his goal, made an impact, could have got another one. I think, he did make a difference. He did make a big difference. And yeah, I think we were all raging when he came on. There was a lot of us sat there going, no, get Cortez on. This is not good enough. I'll bring Danilo on or someone like that earlier. But, he did a good job when he came on. And that hit was fantastic. It was a brilliant hit from Lawrence for the goal. He deserves a lot of credit. Of course he does. Butland just looks passive when he makes mistakes as if it doesn't matter. True. GD Jers says, great channel, by the way. Thank you very much. Grant says, Butland doesn't command his area. Too many times we're put under pressure when he could be coming out and clearing it. Yeah, I think a lot of it, Grant, is he's lost a lot of confidence. He looks lacking in confidence. He looks lacking in a lot of areas, if I'm being honest with you, mate. His handling's poor. His distribution's not great. He really is suffering second season syndrome. He had a great first season, didn't he? He was absolutely brilliant first season, but now he just looks awful. Barry Ferguson says, Cheney, I agree on, but as a team, we can't just rely on one player. It's very true, mate. And that's why we need to strengthen in the summer. That's why we need to bring in new players in the summer to really kick this squad on to the next level and take it on to the next stage. And yeah, we can't rely just on one player. We've got to have a situation where we've got 3-4 players who can be difference makers on the field, not just relying on one. And you're right about that. You're absolutely spot on about that, mate. You really are. May says, I just caught the final 10 minutes because of work. Dessers really needs to take those chances. Yeah, I agree. I mean, the guy had 12 chances. Barry Ferguson did well defending him. He said, look, the keeper made a lot of good saves. He did, but you look at a lot of those chances Dessers misses today, and he hits them straight at the goalkeeper. There's at least 3 or 4 chances where if he puts them either side of the goalkeeper, the keeper ain't getting there. Any sort of power either side of the keeper, as good a keeper as Carson is, he ain't getting there. And and Dessers is scoring. We're probably winning that 7-8-1. I agree with that one. He does need to take his chances. GD Jers says, is Butland scared he gets smashed by another player or something? He may. I don't know. It may be like I said, I think a lot of it, GD Jers, is down to his confidence. I think his confidence is shot to shit at the moment. I mean, he was good in the Old Firm game. Don't get me wrong, but he seems to be able to get up for the big games, but when it's not the big games, he seems to really struggle. Is it a motivation factor? I don't know. Is it a lack of concentration? I mean, if it is like a concentration, that's something we do need to look at, because part of being a Rangers goalkeeper is being able to concentrate for long periods of time without doing anything, and then in that one moment you're called upon, do something brilliant. That's what a Rangers goalkeeper does. That's, if you go back through history, if you look at the three greatest Rangers goalkeepers of recent times, Chris Wood, Stefan Kloss and Andy Gorham, that's what they did to perfection, didn't they? They did nothing for 89 minutes, then in that 1 minute they pulled off a wonder save. So, that's what you need Butland to do, and to some extent he isn't doing that, because he isn't even doing the simple things at the moment. Have to keep taking shots on outside the box. That's where the 2 goals came from. I mean, this is something, Janet, we've called for all along, isn't it? Players taking a pot shot from outside, having a go, not being afraid to put their foot through the ball. And that's what Tav and Lawrence did today. And hopefully that's something they continue to do going forward, and something we do need to continue to do going forward. Robert says players are not good enough or don't care. I'll be honest, Robert, I think there's a lot of players in that team now that have come to the end of their usefulness for Rangers, have come to the period where we need to say thank you for your service, guys, but it's time to go now. I mean, I referenced the Batman saying, it's better to die a hero than live long enough to become a villain. And I think for some of these players, they're ending up living long enough to become villains. You look at some of those players today, I think, you look at some of them and you just think, look, realistically, it's time you moved on. You've kind of come to the end of your career at Rangers. You are not doing what you used to do. You're not being able to play to the levels that we need from you anymore. It's time to move on. And there's Tavernier is the biggest example of that. To be honest with you, I thought he did all right today going forward. Defensively, he was poor, but I think going forward, he was good today. But you look at him and you think, thanks, James, but all the best for the future. But it's not here, mate. It's not here. However, I do think he will get a new contract. I do think he'll still be here next season and the season after that, unfortunately. And he still will be captain as well. That's what I think. I might be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Grant says the only problem with Lawrence being an impact player is he's too expensive. Correct, he is. 22 grand a week I think he's on. Way too expensive to be a bench impact player. Absolutely, 100% agree. He is out of contract at the end of the season. I think the likelihood is he walks. However, if they do want him to remain as an impact player to come off the bench, then they need to give him a contract, but a contract for a lot less money than he's on now. I think a lot of the deadwood of players are just there for their wages. Barry, I think that's always the worry with this squad, isn't it? There's too many players that are there because they like a payday. They like a big payday, don't they? Absolutely. I think you're right on that one, mate. I think you're 100% spot on with that one, with what you say. To be honest, the Lawrence goal was better, says Mays. Yeah, the Lawrence goal was great, mate. The Lawrence goal was really, really good. Don't get me wrong. Bluebell says, honestly, can't see what anyone's seen in Hadji tonight. He did nothing. I'm a Hadji fanboy, but for me, he's checked out. No chance he's staying. He's not playing as if he wants to stay. I mean, you could be correct in that assertion because of the fact, mate, that he doesn't want to be... He seems to be getting dropped an awful lot. Now, if you consider when he came back, he was playing really well. He was controlling the tempo of the midfield. He played brilliantly in the Old Firm game at Ibrox earlier in the season. So, there's been a big change there. There's been obviously something that's changed. Maybe there's something the club knows that we don't know, as fans, that they know that he is going to be off at the end of the season. So they're trying to use him to a minimum because, one, they don't want him to get injured. So they can, obviously, and also the fact that, at the end of the day, you look at him and they say, well, look, he ain't going to try if he's going to go. So we can't really use him. So, it might be elements of that, mate. Really don't think we should play players when they're fasting. Surely there's a duty of care with that. Dio especially looked as if he was running on sand. The only thing, mate, I'd say about that is that a lot of these players that you look at, the Dios, the Hamzas, the Lakaresh, I think he was called for them, and Memo Silla for them. I think you look at those guys, and the one thing you'd say is they're used to it now. They're absolutely used to it. Their bodies are used to it. They're used to it. Maybe it just means you can only get an hour out of them, or 55, 60 minutes, or 70 minutes out of them. You can't get a full 90 out of them. But I'd say the one thing I'd say is a lot of these guys who are fasting, these Muslim guys that are fasting that do play, you look at Mo Salah down at Liverpool, you look at a number of players around the league, and they kind of at a position now where they're used to it. They know how to cope with it. So, you'd kind of be cutting your nose off to spite your face if you're taking out the likes of Hamza and the likes of Mo there. Martin says, is the fasting break new? In all my years watching football, I have never seen it before. I think it's because I think it was tonight, because tonight was an evening game, Martin. So because it was an evening game, obviously this was the point where the sun goes down, which I think is when they can drink and eat. I don't know. I'm not Muslim. I don't know the Islamic religion. I don't want to know. I don't want to talk about it particularly because it's scary as fuck. I don't want to end up getting beheaded or anything like that. So look, I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's very much a case that it is a situation where I think it is new because of the fact that it's an evening game, and I think perhaps you haven't seen as many evening games. So when they're playing at 3:00, you won't see it because obviously the sun doesn't go down, and then when they play at night time, they've already broke their fast. So I don't know, mate. We could cash in on Butland still while we can. I mean, obviously the summer is the time to do that, Maze. If we can get a little bit of money for him, obviously I don't think we're going to get anywhere near what we would have got last summer for him. I think, had we sold him last summer, we get a big, massive payday. But this summer we don't, because he's clearly not of the levels he was at last summer. But that's hindsight. We didn't know that he was going to come downhill this season and have a bad season. We didn't know that obviously we'd perhaps have Liam Kelly who could do a good enough job. It's a difficult one. Bluebell says, if Iggy plays number 9, he might not make as many chances for himself as Dessers can, but he'd bury a lot more of the chances we create compared to Dessers. Why is he not getting the number 9 place? Bluebells, that's a brilliant comment. And you're right. I think Igman would take a lot more of the chances if they fell to him. As to why he's not getting the number 9, I don't know. You'd have to ask Barry that. Maybe Barry wants a target man. Maybe he wants more of a physical presence up there. Maybe that's why he sticks with Dessers over, the likes, obviously, of Danilo and the likes of Igaman up front through the centre. So maybe that's some elements of it, mate. Maybe he just wants more of a target man. I don't know. Janice says, in my opinion, Butland thinks he's a big-time player. He's playing in the Scottish League. No La Liga, you then have to fight. Could be that. I don't think that Hadji looked happy about coming on, but I think he did okay. Yeah, he didn't particularly, did he? He didn't particularly. GD Jer says, Dessers doesn't link well with Hamza. He doesn't, mate. Dessers and Hamza don't work well together. Hamza and Danilo work well together because they're very, they're mobile, they interchange position, they flow, they move. Whereas I think with Dessers, there's no position interchange. Dessers wants to be the number 9. He wants to be the man up front. He doesn't want to go and play on the wing. He doesn't want to drop back in the 10 role. So he won't do that. Whereas I think when Danilo and Hamza play together, they do interchange positions. So you'll see Danilo in the 9, Hamza drops to the 10. You'll see Hamza drop left wing, Danilo stays in the middle. You see Danilo drop left wing, Hamza goes through the middle. You see Danilo drop 10, Hamza goes through the middle. So you see a fluidity there. I don't think you see that with Dessers because, like I said, I think Dessers is more a through the centre kind of guy. Bluebells of Blue says, it's already been confirmed Lawrence is leaving in the summer as is Big Leon. I mean, that's sad times if Big Leon's going. Tom Lawrence, I'm not surprised that. I think if Tom Lawrence goes, I think that was always expected. I think under Clement he probably stays. But I think, yeah, you're right, he is going to go. And look, I wish him all the best no matter what happens. Martin, I have missed what he did tonight, mate, but thought he did next to nothing. And that's a reference to Hadji. May says, we won the game. I just want consistency from the players week in, week out. They're playing for one of the greatest clubs on the planet. I think you're right, Maze. That's what we want. And I think the main consistency we want, Maze, is between the European football and the domestic football. Why is it we can go to Piraeus, we can go to Nice, we can go to Fenerbahce and win games and outplay teams that are worth far more than we are and have on paper a better set of players than we do. Yet it comes to domestic football, we come up against shit like Dundee, St Mirren, Motherwell, Killy, and we lose. And it shouldn't be that way. And yeah, I want to see the same passion, the same commitment. And yes, some of it is the difference in tactics that Olympiacos, that Fenerbahce, that Malmo, that Nice will come out and play football against you, which gives you more of a chance to exploit the gaps. And yes, some of the Scottish teams don't. But I thought today Dundee did come out and play. I thought they had a good go at us. I think quite a few teams have started to do it, if I'm being honest with you. The Hearts game, I thought they had a go at us. The last Hibs game, I thought they had a go at us. I think you'll see next Saturday, Hibs having a go at us again. So, look, at the end of the day, I don't think there's a massive difference. I don't think there's as big a difference as there was, shall I say. CGM55, welcome, mate. I haven't seen you in donkeys. Hope you're doing well. We got lucky today. A goalkeeper chucking chances in and Dessa's missing chance after chance is not a winning combination. CGM, couldn't have put it better myself. Succinct and to the point. You are right. We were lucky today. It's 3 points. It's a good 3 points, but a poor performance. That's not the first time that Jack Butland has chucked one in the net. You know, I know he didn't physically chuck it in there, but you know what I mean. You know, the Man United game, for example, the Motherwell game, there's a lot of mistakes this season that have cost us points, cost us goals. Yesterday it didn't cost us points, thank God. But yeah, and Dessa's missing chance after chance after chance. You're right. You can't miss 11 chances. As I said at the top of the show, you know, if you look at a lot of other strikers, and I'm not talking about the best. I'm not talking about Alf-Inge Haaland. I'm not talking about Vinny Jr. I'm not talking about Kylian Mbappe. I'm not talking about Ferran Torres or you know, Cody Gakpo. I'm talking about average players now. You know, players like Ollie Watkins, Brian and Mbumo, people like that. If you give them 12 chances, they score at least 4 or 5 of those chances today. And Dessa's, it's unforgivable. And a lot of it is just poor play, snatching at chances, not being composed in front of goal. If you look at a lot of those misses today, he just hits it straight at the goalkeeper. That's a panic move. That's a lack of composure. A good striker puts the ball, controls it round the keeper, controls it round the keeper, controls it over the keeper. Dessers doesn't do that. He panics, he overthinks, he smacks it straight at the goalkeeper. He makes mistakes. And look, it didn't cost us today, but another day, that could have cost us. That really could have cost us 3 points. We could have drew that game 3-3. We could have lost that game 3-2. And then you're coming away saying, well, Dessers missed 11 chances. You know, if he'd taken 2 or 3 of those, we'd have won the game. So, yeah, you're right, mate. You're right. Good shout, CGM. I love CGM's points. He makes some brilliant points. It's great to have you on the show this evening. Exactly, Mays. We are the greatest club on the planet, and these players should be proud to play for us, not hide in a game. Couldn't have put it better. Do we believe Cameron was injured? Grant, look, we've got to kind of take Tony Docherty for his word, you know. I think some of it is kind of political. I think some of it is that he doesn't want the player to get pelters. I think, you know, if Lyle Cameron plays today and he plays poorly against us, then you're going to get he doesn't care, he doesn't want to play for us anymore, he's not trying, you know, or he comes down as a worldie and then we hate him, you know. So I don't know. You've got to kind of believe him, haven't you? I'd give Balogun players your pay contract, Mays. Yeah, that sounds sound. I mean, I'd still give Balogun a year. I think as a 4th choice centre-back, he still can do a job for us. Robert, Europe is our time this year. Robert, I certainly hope so. But if we play like that against Athletic Club Bilbao, we will get our arses handed to us on a plate. Leon gave an interview a few months back. This is his last season as a full-time player. There we go. I must admit, I haven't seen that interview, Bluebells. If you want to let me know where I can watch it, obviously, please do. Janet says, Dundee fighting for their life. We should have known they were going to have a go. True. Good shout, mate. Thank you, Singing the Blues. Like and subscribe, people. Absolutely. Dessa seriously has to be shown the way to finish chances, says Mays. True. I mean, Barry did say post-game today that Dessa's, even at his age, is still determined to work on his game and improve his game. So hopefully that happens. Colin Ritchie says, still won us the game. He should have scored at least 6, but our defence you should be looking at. Every one of them were awful, to be honest. Colin, I disagree on Sterling. I thought Sterling did well today. I agree on the rest of them. Defensively, I thought Tav was poor. I thought that Tav was good going forward, but poor defensively. I thought Sterling did well. I thought Balogun was poor. I thought Suter was poor. I thought Ridvan was poor. I thought Hiefte was poor. Yeah. Cameron looked at, okay, when he came on. True. Danilo didn't cover himself in glory either. The amount of balls across the box are cut back exactly where your number 9 should be waiting, and Danilo was jogging around the edge of the box. True, but I suppose the thing is, CGM, you don't know what he was asked to do by Barry. It might be that he was asked to hang around the edge of the box. He was asked to drift out wide. He was not asked to play in that number 9 role, maybe. I don't know. Billy Yoshida, new name, says, if Dessers took almost of his chances, he would be at Barcelona. I disagree. It's Scotland. It's not the Liga. It's not the EPL. It's not the EFL Championship. It's Scotland. You get a lot of chances in Scotland. And if you're half a decent striker, you put the ball in the back of the net. Now, Billy, I'm going to tell you this. If that's Chris Boyd playing at his prime, or Ali McCoist, half of those chances end up in the back of the net. But at no point would Chris Boyd be ever considered a Barcelona player. Neither would Ali McCoist, mate. So that's a bit of an irrelevant point, if I'm being honest. But thank you for contributing all the same. His ability to lob both feet, etc. Tony Docherty's face was a delight when our fourth goal went in. It was. He'll be having a drink tonight, won't he? Dessers never gives up, which I like. He doesn't. I mean, that's one positive, I think, that he does never ever give up. He doesn't hide. He misses chance after chance after chance after chance, and he misses sitter after sitter. But he never gives up. He doesn't let his head go down. Yeah, I agree. Tav bottled out a few challenges. Yeah, he wasn't great, was he? I think the first goal was on him. If he shows a bit more desire to get to the ball, there's no way Simon Murray gets his boot round the ball. No way that ends up in the back of the net. So, yeah, I think you're right, mate. Barron was poor as well. Rice was okay. Will do him good getting the minutes. Yeah, Barron didn't do well at all. Didn't cover himself in glory, hence why I think he was substituted at half-time. But, yeah, Rice was all right. He did all right. He did a good job in a poor team. He did. And Rice is one for the future. And yes, you're right, CGM. The minutes will stand him in good stead for the future. Absolutely. More confidence beating Bilbao than these riff-raff games in the SPFL. To be honest, it's the absurdity of being a bear nowadays. And that's what I was talking about with the consistency, Bluebells. And I think consistently, we are not consistent enough. And it's almost like this team are so set up to play in Europe, it isn't good enough. You look at the whole situation with the way we play. Like I said, we go to Nice, we get a result. We go to Malmo, we get a result. We go to Fenerbahce, we get a result. We beat FCSB at home. We draw with Tottenham. We should have beaten Tottenham. We should have drawn with Manchester United at Old Trafford. Yet we lose to St Mirren. We nearly lose to Dundee. Yeah, I agree. It's weird. And yeah, I probably got more confidence of us playing Athletic Bilbao than I have of us playing St Mirren or Dundee or Ross County. Sterling cost the second goal, lazy getting out, and then doesn't get back in, even though the keeper was a howler. Where was the defence, though? Dundee guys, first to the ball. He is no centre-back, simple as that. Yeah, I mean, he probably isn't, but I think out of the defenders, he did the best. And look, finding a good player today is difficult. I thought he did all right today. I thought Tav did all right today. I thought Lawrence did all right when he came on as well. That's it. Chris72, welcome Chris, says Butland blundered again today. He certainly did, mate. He was poor. From what I've seen from the highlights, Tav was pretty poor. Yeah, he was defensively, mate. He was all right going forward. He's crossed into the box. He gets a good goal. But it's what Tav is, isn't it? We've known that. We've known that since Tav came to the club. He's good going forward, but he's shocking defending. He's like a B-Tech Trent Alexander-Arnold, isn't he? You look at Trent Alexander-Arnold, brilliant going forward, shit at defending. Allegedly worth over £100 million. James Tavernier is like a B-Tech Trent Alexander-Arnold. Diamande had another game where he looked lost. He still struggles with the pace and the physical side of the Scottish game. I think I'd say CGM is, yeah, he looks a lot better in Europe. He looked good against Celtic. Why? Because it was more a European style game. He doesn't like the physical. It's going to take him time. I think, give him another 12 months. He may be a better player because he may be more used to it. I think he needs to thicken up a little bit as well. Dessers is always there. It's a shame he's so poor 50% of the time, true. We wanted Dessers off. Didn't want Lawrence on, yet both scored. Yeah, Stephen, look. What did I say on the live stream, mate? It's this channel. It's what we do. We slag someone off, they score a goal. We slag someone off, they do a brilliant defensive clearance. It's the way it works, mate. And look, what I want you to do, guys, when we come to play Bilbao, when we do the live stream for the Bilbao game, I want you to slag whoever's playing off front up off loads, and then he'll score a hat-trick. Dio is fucking shocking in the SPFL, turns up 1 in 5 games, decent in Europe, but his unforced errors in the SPFL, giving the ball away far too often. He's a big part of the problem right now. Bluebells, the thing I'd say about that is, with the exception of Nicholas Raskin, which of our midfielders is not a problem at giving the ball away and fighting for the ball and battling for the ball? Raskin is probably the only midfielder we've got who doesn't consistently give the ball away, who consistently wins the ball and consistently plays well. He probably is the only one in our team, I would say, who does that. So, yeah, look, there we are. And if you're going forward with that defence, I'm sorry, you're winning nothing. It's simply not acceptable to defend like that in any game. I agree, Colin. I agree, mate. 100% agree. We need to rebuild from the back. We need to rebuild from the back. Now, for me, Colin, that's putting Sterling back to right back, his natural position. It's going out and getting at least one, if not two, centre-backs. It's going out and getting an actual left-back who can defend, because neither of our left-backs can defend. I mean, Ridvan today looked like he had 2 right feet. I know the saying is 2 left feet, but he'd actually be quite good with 2 left feet because he's left-footed. But he was awful today. And I think, yeah, you're right. We do need to rebuild from the back. And that starts with the goalkeeper all the way forward to the centre-backs and the left-back. I think Sterling is good enough to play right-back. I think he's a better right-back than centre-back, as he's proven this season. So, yeah, I agree. We do need to build from the back, mate. And as I've said, Colin, on numerous podcasts and numerous videos, what all the best teams that win leagues and win things have built from the back. They've got solid back defence. When you look at the great Rangers teams in the past, Gary Stevens, Richard Gough, Terry Butcher, Lorenzo Amoruso, Davy McPherson, people like that at the back who were solid. Goalkeepers like Kloss and Gorham and McGregor and Chris Woods, outstanding. And that's what you need, a solid back five. And we haven't got that. At this moment in time. Janet shouting for Dessers and Tav to be took off, and Lawrence didn't want him on. Scored. Yeah, exactly what I said. Wish it was that simple, Owen. Yeah, I think, it isn't really that simple, is it? Just slagging someone off and they'll score. I would try and sell Diamonde in the summer and replace him with Lennon Miller. Mate, I'd take that all day long. Lennon Miller looks a quality player, and he's already adapted to the SPL. CGM says 5 subs, and we are desperate for 3 goals, and Cortez stays on the bench. Maybe not the game for him, but it's still not a good look. CGM, that's a great shout, mate. You look at that. As I said, I even said on the live stream, I'd give Cortez a run out here. It's a tired defence now they've got. Give him a bit of, he's quick, he's good going forward. Give him 15 minutes at the end, see what he's got. I agree. It's not a good look. This team is an enigma, wrapped up in a puzzle box. Can anyone please explain this team? Chris72, I gave up about 6 months ago. I can't explain them. I genuinely can't. And what's really weird is, we'll scrape this win today. We'll probably go to Ibrox next week and lose to Hibs and then beat Bilbao at home. I mean, that's Rangers. That's Rangers at the moment. It really is. As soon as Danny came on, I started posting his pish, and the WhatsApp group cause seems to make them score. Yeah, that's what I said, mate. Billy Yoshida said, look at Umar Sid. Couldn't get a game, looked hopeless. Then he's going to La Liga for 20 million. Guys like Gabriel Amato, Argentinian striker, didn't play a lot, but went to Spain, La Liga, Betis, and scored. Good shout. Robert, he kept putting on Chris Boyd. He always has to bring in the water dodgers to every conversation. I think Diamonde needs more time. He might be I think he does need more time. Did D'Amato not come to us after Spain? I think he did, Bluebells. I think he did. Sterling isn't good enough at right back or centre back. He does go to sleep far often as a left back. Situation we need much better, to be honest. There is the keeper, centre back. Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Aldo says Sunday clocks change. There we go. As a little reminder, your clocks are going to go forward. You're going to get an hour less in bed tonight. Pissed off with that. Not good. Not good at all. Guys, just a little bit of advertising. A little bit of advertising. A bit of free advertising coming up. Right. Relaunching tonight. Video is already out, actually. I've already put the video out tonight. Let me just find it in here. So I've already put the video out tonight. SPFL Goalfest is already, or the SPL Goalfest is already out. The video is out. We've relaunched tonight this channel, the Owen James Football channel. It is now out, bringing you general football news, bringing you general football streams. If you'd like to check it out, please do. That is now live. I've done a video tonight about the SPFL, the SPL tonight, the goals that were scored, the games today. So please, obviously, check that one out, guys. Thank you very much for your support on that one. What else have we got here? Janet, this team will go through to the last 4 in Europe, and probably that. Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree 100% with you on that one. That's what's really weird about them, isn't it? That they're just weird. They're just bloody weird. There's no rhyme nor reason to them. There's no logic to them. There's just no nothing to them, is there? Absolutely no nothing to them. They're just random. I don't get them this season. I really don't get them this season. Really don't get them this season. 100% don't get them this season. Glad we won tonight. Correct. Barry said it in the press conference. Too many bad habits. Team is built to win in Europe, not win leagues in Scotland. 100% agree on that one. CJ says we won't beat Bilbao. I don't know, mate. You never know. We probably won't, but you never know. Cheers for the reminder, Aldo. I could have done with an extra hour's sleep after that fucking game as well. Fucking, it says Bluebells. Yeah, I think at the end of the day, we could have made that a lot more easy on ourselves today. The performance wasn't acceptable. It was like the bad old days, wasn't it? It really was like the bad old days yet again. It really, really was. It really, really was. Billy Yoshida says he went back to Spain after Rangers and scored goals. See more technical player in the physical league suited him better. I think that's in reference to Gabriel Amato, obviously coming to Rangers. What else have we got here? Let's have a look what else we've got here. We've got listen to wee Barry after the game. He kind of telling us several in the side who need replaced. Hopefully we sign a few in the summer. Need several removed ASAP. I agree on that one, mate. And Barry's right. And like I said earlier, it's refreshing to hear a manager being that honest. It really is refreshing to hear a manager being that honest. It really is. Maybe we're destined to win the Europa League this time. Oh, Maze, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? I don't think we are, but it would be amazing. Barry was more than miffed in the press conference. He said the right things, but you can tell he thinks the team is pish. Mate, like I said to you, it was refreshing the honesty from him, wasn't it? Refreshing the honesty. Guys, just a note that the link is now in the live chat for the new channel. It's https://youtube.com/OwenJamesFC. Check it out, guys, and give me a sub, please. Bluebells are blue. Sorry, bud. CGM55. We say that before every game. We see what happens. That's all we can do. Team changed the clock before kickoff has started an hour early. Yeah, maybe our team were already an hour ahead of themselves. I don't know. The prospect of us playing Bilbao gives me the fear. I think they will scud us, says Singing the Blues. Yeah, on paper they should, shouldn't they? On paper they should absolutely smash us to smithereens, and there should be no chance of us winning the game, realistically. But you never know. You never know, mate. You never know. Anything could happen. Anything could happen. Right, guys, that is it for tonight. Thank you for coming on to the fan forum. Thank you for sharing all your views, all your opinions tonight. It's been fabulous speaking to you, as always, here on Glasgow Rangers Nation. Guys, it's been a pleasure. And please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. If you can check out the new channel and subscribe, that would be phenomenal. We're going to do lots of SPFL content on there, looking at not just Rangers, but all the teams. And I'm even going to try and talk a little bit about that lot without swearing and being sick. Right, guys, thank you for watching the channel. It's been a pleasure speaking to you, as always, here. You guys are phenomenal. You guys are fabulous. You don't know how much you help me get through things at the moment. Things are really shit at the moment, I'll be honest with you. Really shit here at the moment, personally speaking. You know, I don't want to go into too much detail, you know, with what's going on, but we've got, you know, things going on in the family that are not good at all. Really bad. But, you know, look, we get on with it, and speaking to you guys is fantastic. Got some good comments finishing off. We shall see something about this team in the Europa this season. You just never know, says Bluebells. Good stuff, says CGM55. Lots of people saying thank you, thank you. We'll be better against Bilbao, says Maze. Better than the Bilbao. Cheers, lads. Have a good rest of the weekend, says Bluebells. Take care, Owen Powell. Good night, rest of these, ladies and gentlemen. Aldo, pleasure as always, mate. Please, on the way out, like, comment, subscribe. We're back to speak again very soon. All the very best for the future, guys. Take care. See you soon. We are the people.